In continuation with the last topic of asexual reproduction, we have discussed the budding and the binary fission. Now we will move to discuss about the further asexual mode of reproduction like fragmentation. What is fragmentations? Fragmentation means when an organism body part get broken into pieces, and each pieces can form a new organism. That is called as a fragmentation. You can see fragmentation. Growth segment part of an organism into new organism is called as fragmentation. You can see in Spirogyra. Spirogyra is a filamentous algae. Its body is of filament type, but due to nature, when its growth becomes too large, its body parts get broken into a number of pieces. Then these pieces get separated and to form a new individual. That is called as a fragmentation. Next is regeneration. Regeneration means to regenerate itself. What happens in regeneration? When an organism body is cut into a appreciable length of pieces, these pieces of organism body regenerate entire organisms, entire body parts. That is called as a regeneration. Like growth of any part or organ in animals in organism, that is called as a regeneration. For example, planaria. If planaria is cut into two or three pieces, each part will regenerate all the missing part. That is called regeneration. Even this regeneration has been also found in the case of Hydra also. If Hydra body is cut into three pieces, then the missing parts of the Hydra will regenerate the entire complete body. That is daughter Hydra. Next is spore formation. Spore is also a asexual reproductive structure. Spore is an asexual reproductive structure which is which actually is when the nuclei gets surrounded by some cytoplasm, and cytoplasm is covered by some hard protective covering that is called as a spore. That is sporulation, just to tide over some unfavorable condition. When the favorable condition ends, the spores germinate to rise to new organism, new body. That is called spores. The spores may be of many types, like for example, zoospore. Zoospore are just simply they are spores, but they will have the flagella. They are called such type of spores are called zoospore, means motile spores. Flagellated motile spores form endogenously in zoosporangia, like chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas, I've seen the chlamydomonas. In the book diagram, you see there is a flagella. When the chlamydomonas tend to reproduce, its nuclei divide into 2 or 4 nuclei. These nuclei get separate to form a new chlamydomonas, daughter chlamydomonas, and each chlamydomonas will have the flagella. They will swim towards as they liberated the swim towards as then they regenerate itself. That is called as the zoospore. Conidia. Next is conidia. Conidia is also a spore where the spores are formed in a series of chain, just like a cone, one above the other, one above the other. That is called as a conidia. They are non-motile. You will find this conidia spores in Phytophthora, a fungi, or Penicillium notatum, famous fungus from which penicillin is obtained, wonder drug. Gemmules are also a sexually protective body, which is formed endogenously, which germinate to form a young offspring in the sponge. In the sponges, what happens? These spores are formed inside the body, which is also a protective structure just to tide over unfavorable condition. When the hydra seems that situation unfavorable, he forms spores inside the body. That is called gemmule. Gemmules are asexual reproductive body which is found inside the organism. That is called as gemmule. Next, we are moving to the asexual mode of plant like vegetative propagation. Just now we talk about where the vegetative part of the plant are involved for the reproduction. That is vegetative. Since again it is no two individuals are required, that is, it is not a sexual reproduction, but it is a asexual reproduction. It's actually found in the higher plants, higher organisms. It is called a vegetative propagation or reproduction too. Like in plants, growth of new plant part from vegetative part, like root, shoot, stems, leaf, flower. From this part, if the new plants are organized, that is called vegetative propagation. For example, in sugarcane, sugarcane and rose, whatever, the stems are cut of abrasion and are sown in the ground. Then these cut parts regenerates growth the new plant body. That is called vegetative propagation. Next is the bulb. From bulb is the example of onion and garlic. Here the small circular disc of stems are present in the onion, and which have the central bud and the auxiliary bud, which are sown into the ground, and the new plant body is produced. New plant body is produced in potato. Potato, what is the this rhizome, ginger, banana, what is rhizome? The underground part of stems are there. It has the auxiliary bud, which cut this stem of potato and ginger and sown into the ground. Then a new plant bodies form. Water hyacinth, that is presence of the stem which is running on the water, on the surface of parallel to the water, like in Jalkumbi water. This that I have discussed in previous lecture. These are some modes of asexual reproduction in case of plants.